This week we'll get the sequel to Space Jam, the final part of Fear Street, a new show that will explain a few things and much more. As always, the full list will be at the end, so let's get started. A classic horror story will be available on Netflix on Wednesday. In this gruesome suspense film, strangers traveling in southern Italy become stranded in the woods, where they must fight desperately to get out alive. Also on Wednesday, you can watch Gunpowder Milkshake. 3 generations of women fight back against those who could take everything from them. And on Friday, the final third part of Fear Street will be out. The origins of Sarah Fierce's curse are finally revealed, as history comes full circle on a night that changes the lives of Shadysiders forever. Deep will also be released on Friday. 4 insomniac med school students are lured into a neuroscience experiment that spirals out of control and must find a way out before it's too late. On Netflix on Wednesday, Private Network, Who Killed Manuel Buendia will be available. A deep dive into the work of renewed Mexican journalist Manuel Buendia looks to unravel his murder and the ties between politics and drug trafficking. Also on Wednesday, the guide to the perfect family will drop. A couple in Quebec deals with the pitfalls, pressure and high expectations of raising kids in a society obsessed with success and social media image. And on Thursday, you can watch A Perfect Fit. Sparks fly when a fashion blogger in Bali meets the gifted shoemaker, leading her to question her commitment to her fiancé. Another movie available on Thursday is My Amanda. 2 unusually close friends share every aspect of their lives together. As their lives evolve, their bond remains the only constant. A new show, Heist, will be available on Netflix on Wednesday. Millions in stolen cash, missing luxury bourbon. Watch ordinary people almost get away with this extraordinary heist in this true crime series. Also on Wednesday there will be another new show, My Unorthodox Life, the personal and professional life of fashion mogul Julia Hart, former member of an ultra-orthodox Jewish community turned CEO of Elite World Group. And on Friday we are getting the 3rd season of Explained, a documentary series that looks to explore the big questions of today. The 2nd season of Never Have I Ever will be available on Netflix on Thursday. The complicated life of a modern-day first-generation Indian American teenage girl inspired by Mindy Kaling's own childhood. Also on Thursday we are getting the 2nd season of Beastars. In a world of anthropomorphic animals, a reclusive wolf's complicated relationship with a candy rabbit is tested by a classmate's murder, a charismatic deer's influence, and his own burgeoning predatory instincts. And on Friday, limited series Noama Osaka will be available, featuring unprecedented access to Osaka. The documentary follows her pivotal year, from the US Open in August 2019 and on tour as she plays in each of the Grand Slams and prepares for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The Unknown Saint will be available on Netflix on Thursday. A criminal returns to the fake grave where he buried his loot years before and discovers that it has become the shrine of an unknown saint in a thriving little village. Another movie available on Thursday is This Changes Everything, an investigative look and analysis of gender disparity in Hollywood, featuring accounts from well-known actors, executives and artists in the industry. On Friday you can watch The Beguile, the unexpected arrival of a wounded Union soldier at a girls' school in Virginia during the American Civil War leads to jealousy and betrayal. Also on Friday we are getting the Book of Henry, with instructions from her genius son's carefully crafted notebook. A single mother sets out to rescue a young girl from the hands of her abusive stepfather. On HBO Max on Thursday, the newest Tom and Jerry movie will be available. The chaotic battle ensues between Jerry Mouse, who has taken refuge in the Royal Gate Hotel, and Tom Cat, who is hired to drive him away before the day of the big wedding arrives. And on Friday, we'll have a new Warner Bros. Movie, Space Jam: A New Legacy. A rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of famed basketball player LeBron James, who then has to work with Bugs Bunny to win a basketball game. Day. Also on Friday you will be able to watch a costume for Nicholas. Every year Nicholas' mother made him a disguise. After his mother dies, he goes to live with his cousin, who suffers from nightmares. Nicholas will undertake an adventure to save him from his nightmares. On Saturday you can watch The Empty Man. On the trail of a missing girl, an ex-cop comes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying supernatural entity. The new show The White Lotus will premiere on HBO Max on Sunday. Set in a tropical resort, the show follows the exploits of various guests and employees over the span of a week. The new docu-series Catch and Kill the podcast tapes will premiere on Monday. Ronan Farrow's intimate revealing interviews with whistleblowers, journalists, private investigators and other sources for his book Catch and Kill. Also on Monday you can watch the first season of Wellington Paranormal. Sergeant Maka and officers Minogue and O'Leary are members of the Wellington, New Zealand police. Their job is to investigate paranormal phenomena. And on Friday we'll get the final episode of the second season of Betty, a diverse group of young women navigating their lives through the predominantly male-oriented world of skateboarding. We Bought a Zoo will be available on Disney Plus on Friday. Set in Southern California, a father moves his young family to the countryside to renovate and reopen a struggling zoo. Also on Friday we will get Gangs of Sharks. Scientists have discovered and investigated the reason behind the behavior of sharks swimming around in gangs even though they are viewed as solitary predators. Loki's final episode will be available on Disney Plus on Wednesday. The mercurial villain Loki resumes his role as the god of mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. And for younger Marvel fans, the first season of Meet Spidey and His Amazing Friends will drop on Friday. Follow Parker, Stacy and Morales as the young heroes team up to defeat foes like Rhino and Green Goblin and learn that teamwork is the best way to save the day. On Friday we will get the first season of Shark Attack: The Paige Winter Story. Paige Winter lost a leg and part of her hand to a shark when she was 17, and experts investigated her attack to determine what kind of shark was responsible and how to avoid it in the future. Also on Friday, the first season of The Croc That Ate Jazz will be available. Discover what happens when two of the deadliest predators face each other. The second season of El Cid will be available on Amazon Prime on Thursday. The show is about Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, a Castilian nobleman and war hero in medieval Spain. Also on Thursday we will get the first fourth season of Devious Maids. 4 Latina maids with ambitions and dreams of their own work for the rich and famous in Beverly Hills. And on Friday the second season of Making the Cut will drop. Fashion competition series featuring 10 talented entrepreneurs and designers from around the world who are ready to take their emerging brands to the next level and become the newest global phenomenon. Also on Friday you can watch Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. A middle-aged London governess finds herself unfairly dismissed from her job. An attempt to gain new employment catapults her into a glamorous world and dazzling social whirl of an American actress and singer. My All-American will be available on Hulu on Wednesday. An underdog on the gridiron faces the toughest challenge of his life after leading his team to a championship season. We will get 20,000 Days on Earth movie on Thursday. Writer and musician Nick Cave marks his 20,000th day on the planet Earth. Also on Thursday, The Act of Killing will be available, a documentary which challenges former Indonesian Death Squad leaders to reenact their mass killings in whichever cinematic genres they wish, including classic Hollywood crime scenarios and lavish musical numbers. Another movie available on Thursday is Borkman. A vagrant enters the lives of an arrogant upper-class family, turning their lives into a psychological nightmare in the process. Bullhead will be available on Hulu on Thursday. Jackie, a young cattle farmer who is constantly pumped on steroids and hormones, is approached by a veterinarian to make a deal with notorious beef trader. We can also watch The Connection on Thursday. A French police magistrate spends years trying to take down one of the country's most powerful drug rings. Man and Chicken will also be available on Thursday. Two outcast brothers, through getting to know their unknown family, discover a horrible truth about themselves and their relatives. We will also got Epita on Thursday. A loan shark is forced to reconsider his violent lifestyle after the arrival of the mysterious woman claiming to be his long-lost mother. The first season of Cleopatra in Space will be available on Hulu on Wednesday. This is a comedic adventure focusing on the untold story of Cleopatra's teenage years. Cleo is transported 30,000 years into the future to a planet that is ruled by talking cats. And on Thursday there will be a 2-episode premiere of American Horror Stories. This is the spin-off series of American Horror Story. Hulu's original docu-series McCartney 321 will premiere on Friday. Producer Rick Rubin interviews Paul McCartney on his work with the Beatles, Wings and as a solo artist, including stories about his personal relationships that inspired his songwriting. And on Saturday you can watch the first season of the anime Horimiya. Two very different people, an academically successful schoolgirl and a quiet loser schoolboy, meet and develop a friendship. And now the full list. Don't forget to like and subscribe.